C.D. Lamb wasn't far behind, wearing a frown. Two young roosters, feathers all puffed, looking for trouble like they'd had enough. They skipped the sermon, missed the bell, took the road that led straight to hell. They miss some things, oh, they miss some things, like manners and mercy and what Sunday brings. The Bible's worth more than a gold dip ring, but they miss some things, oh, they miss some things.
All right, it's the One Star Cowboys podcast. I'm Kevin Turner. We have Saad Yusuf. We have Kit Garrison, and he made it back in one piece from Sin City. I can imagine long nights at the tables. Jon Machota. How was it out there, man?
It's fine. I'm not a table person at all. I mean, I like going to a sports book, but like, I'm just not. The older I get, the less I care about gambling. You know, like,
yeah.
I'm just not big into. I don't know. I just know a lot of people have lost a lot of money on betting on sports and thinking that they know sports and that they can do it and make a side hustle with it, and it's just not there, man. So I try and stay away from all of that. But I mean, it is fun walking around, and obviously I was in the casinos and sports books and stuff like that, but I'm not really a huge gambler.
Those are the words.
Just John, George Pickens, and C.D. Lamb out in the town.
Yeah, hanging out. I'm like, guys, don't you have curfew? And they're like, no, man, it's fine. It's fine. It's shoddy.
Double down.
It's cool, man.
Double down.
Cool.
Hit me. Double down. Let's do some roulette after this. John's over here talking about how gambling is such a bad thing. And here he is at 17, 12, and 1, leading the show picks by a lot.
Yeah. Maybe I should put some money on it.
Yeah, maybe you should bet a Lions game here and there, too. Mm-hmm. Always goes the other way. Worked out for him this time. We'll do our picks towards the end as well. Cowboys-Eagles this week. Let's kind of rehash on a few things from Monday night. Clearly, the frustration for me is like, Quinn Williams, awesome. Yeah, great. And it just feels like, man, if all the energy that we wasted in the first 9 weeks or 10 weeks of just trying to figure out a way to make this defense passable, and then it's like, oh, yeah, get the good player. Get a really good player in here. And then some other, accessories as well. And you look pretty good. So we're not going to go overboard or anything. It's a one-game sample size. But
don't make me stick up for the Cowboys here. But
you did the whole episode last week.
I'm going to do it again, man. I'm telling you. It's not like they didn't call New York. They would have loved to have traded Micah to New York. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted Quinn Williams then. They just couldn't get done. So it's not like they didn't put forth any effort.
Is a big reason, I think, why the Jets couldn't do that deal? If you guys want to go deep into this, well, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I guess like the curse of Aaron Rodgers hurting the Cowboys again, because the New York Jets have so much Aaron Rodgers doo-doo money on their salary cap. That's one of the things that prevented them from going and getting Micah.
That's what I've heard. That they weren't able to go at, they would have done the move, but they didn't have the space to be able to pay Micah what he needed to be paid, at least, or they didn't want to tie up that much more cap into that significant of a, and let's be honest, where the Jets are right now, it probably would have been a good move for them anyway.
No, probably not. But I can think, without looking it up on, on the cap sites and all that stuff, I think it's like $36 million in dead money still that they owe Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's on their cap that they have to deal with. And like, it's like, yeah, if you don't have that, then maybe they can sign Micah Parsons. And then, you have Quentin Williams in week one. Obviously, you wouldn't have Kenny Clark in this equation,
right?
But it does make you wonder if you're 5-3-1, or a 5-4-1, or 6-3-1 right now.
But also on the flip side, from the Jets' perspective, like what if they did trade for Micah and then you're dealing Micah and Sauce Gardner and whatever at the deadline? Like you would rack up those draft picks.
Yeah.
Rack them up.
The Jets are going to own some drafts moving forward.
Man, they are going to own those drafts, man. The ESPN experts love that. That's why they got A's on all their moves. They're just, man, when I think of Jets, I think of A's. Like they just know what they're doing. So I give them A's all the time, man, for these moves. I mean, if there's anybody that knows how to run a football team, it would probably be the Jets, which was also very entertaining to me to see that their owner was the one that was like, we got to get rid of these player surveys. Of course you want to get rid of the player surveys. Real quick though, just because we are talking about, you brought up Quinn and then the cap money and that, a real explain this to me like I'm 5 moment for me here. Okay. So there is a lot of talk about how you can't pay 3 defensive tackles, going forward. About we're going to just ballpark it at around 60 million, between Osa, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams. I don't understand why, if you think that you can make that work, why can't you do that? Because you're not going to really spend anything on Ezeraku. Your other D end is probably going to be like a Dante Fowler, J.W. and Clowney, or somebody that you draft in the first round, or a combination. So there's not a really big investment there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take Kenny Clark away and you take Quentin Williams away, you're still going to be paying Micah and Osa $60 million combined at least anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Micah, you weren't signing Micah for under $40 million. The rumor was it was going to be around 42 that he probably would have stayed with the Cowboys for. And Osa's over 20. So that's over $60 million right there between those two guys anyway. So you're kind of like, I'm not saying that they're necessarily guaranteed to do it, but I'm just saying like people act like it can't be done. Like, well, that Kenny's going to be gone at the end of the year because they can't spend $60 million on 3 defensive tackles. Well, no, I mean, technically they can. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not impossible to do that. If you're not, you just can't bring in you can't really pay a DN big money at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but also
they're not going to.
How would Pickens kind of factor into that? I mean, are you looking at either the 3rd defensive tackle or Pickens, or are you kind of thinking you can do both?
I would think that if you franchise tag Pickens, I would think that you probably do both with some other maneuvers, Mm-hmm. I find it hard to believe that you can't when you look at how much teams like the Eagles and the Lions and Green Bay, like there's plenty of teams that are spending big money at multiple positions. And I don't know, just like when you take Mike out of the equation, it does, I don't know, it seems like that there's a little bit of wiggle room there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
it doesn't seem impossible is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I think the big thing is if you really want to go all into this window or whatever, you got to do something about Dak's cap hit next year, which is $74 million. Now, again, you might be sending yourself into cap hell down the road, but if you really are trying to capitalize on this contract, whatever these 4 years, you find a way to reduce that cap hit and kick the can down a little bit and then see if you can do whatever, like sign George Pickens, sign the defensive tackle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't think that they'll have any problem doing. And honestly, if you're a Cowboys fan, why would you care? In a way, you've been kicking the can down the road for 30 years, so why not keep it going?
I think a bigger thing is just like with it's like making that decision internally. We all agree on this. This is the direction we're going on something. We're all in on this thing, everyone, and this is how we're going to spend our money. Because I think what's going to be a little bit salivating for Steven or cap people in the room will be the fact that if you do choose to move on from Kenny Clark and cut him, you have $40 million over the next 2 years in cap savings. And I think that's something that they love that. You're telling me that if I can cut a guy and I'll save 20 on the cap this year and 20 on the cap next year, look at everything I can do with it. When I would argue they probably shouldn't be thinking that way. If you think you're good enough, to even make a move to go get Quentin Williams, you shouldn't be thinking that way. If you looked at the franchise tag, this is all, guesstimating right now, but the franchise tag for a wide receiver in 2026 is estimated to be $28 million. I mean, at that point, let's just go ahead and sign him at, 35. Unless you think he's a problem and something else pops up and we're missing a plane or whatever.
Let's see this one more year just to be sure.
Yeah. But we are talking about the 35 area, for a contract, right? Would you guys agree with that? Right around there for him, George Pickens?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably in that neighborhood, but it is funny because I had some colleagues that cover the Steelers reach out to me and talk about how basically they had the similar messages about how Yep, you got the whole George Pickens experience on Monday night or on Monday. I'm like, yeah, kind of. But I got experience. I cover the Dallas Cowboys, so it's fine.
Don't you take that though? Like, pretty great. I mean,
yeah. As long as that you got a win out of it, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, the big thing for me is Dak is the X factor. I mean, with George Pickens, everything that he kind of throws at you, like I think Pittsburgh couldn't really handle it because Justin Fields and Russell Wilson aren't really, keeping him in check or keeping him involved or whatever. I mean, for George Pickens to have and CD both to have whatever they had that caused him to miss the first series, and then for Dak to just go right at them for the rest of the game and keep them involved. I think he does a really good job of balancing being a leader, playing good cop, all that kind of stuff. He's really good at that. So I think he's one part of the thing that gives you confidence in all that.
And we don't even have to wait for like an off season or the whole season to play out. We just need the next 3 games. It's about 2 weeks. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Those next 3 teams that they're playing, it's not the Raiders. It's not the Cardinals. We'll find out exactly what this thing's all about. And it might not be for this season. I'm not a believer that they're going to make this run to make the playoffs, but I'm saying it'll tell you a lot about what this team can be next year and what you can add to it and build off of it in the offseason to where you could be a legitimate contender next year. But yeah, these next 3 games will be pretty entertaining from that perspective. Like, will they be able to throw it around the yard like they did against the Raiders? We'll see. If they can, then I can say this right now. They do that against these next 3 teams. There's no chance George Pickens is leaving the building. That Jerry just won't let that happen.
2-1 would feel really good. And like beating the Eagles, get them first. That'd be the least surprising of the 3, I think. Even though you could easily say that the Eagles right now are better than Detroit and Kansas City. But like, there's just something about the Eagles in the division. You've already played tight with them once. And the Eagles, when you watch them play, you look at their defense and go, yeah, wow. And then you watch them on offense and you go, what? And we did this last year when they took the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands for 2 months. Like, we've done this before. Somehow finding a way to win, despite the coach making idiotic decisions down the stretch as well, like just finding a way. So
I will say, though, I mean, watching every snap of their last 2 games, which are obviously against quality opponents, there is a little bit of, but when they really do need to score, they score.
Yeah.
Like when you score and you think you got a little momentum, they come right down the field and answer right back. So I'm a little skeptical of totally. Now, I will say, hey, if our podcast was about them, I mean, we're talking about the possibility of, like you mentioned, 28 on a franchise tag, 35 on a full con. Imagine paying CD and Pickens both, and you're getting that production that they're getting out of their 2 high-paid wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're winning, so it's like it's fine or whatever. But yeah, their defense is nasty though. That Jalen Phillips addition, pretty big for them.
Just a 3rd rounder, and he's doing everything for them, just adding to the mix of. Then you had Nolan Smith sleeping on everyone, and just ridiculous, man. I mean, they made Green Bay and Detroit in back-to-back weeks just look incompetent on offense. But that's the one I think of the 3. I still sit here and go, there's the one you're most likely to win as the division opponent. Played with them earlier in the year.
I've been thinking that for a while, but now I've moved to Kansas City.
Kansas City's got a really interesting one this week with we'll pick that game a little bit later in the show with Indianapolis. Yeah. The Kansas City at 5-5 is so unprecedented. I don't even know what to think about it right now. But I do think that, like, all right, it's nut cutting time. Gene kicks in at some point if that's a real thing. Yeah, because like Detroit's really good. I can see the Cowboys playing with Detroit. I think Detroit's really good. I think Detroit will beat the Cowboys clearly, but like, yeah, I don't know. That's something about the Chiefs right now, knowing they need to turn it on. Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. They have too many guys who are good at offense too. Like their defense is not that big of a problem.
Yeah.
Special teams. It's kind of funny because, like, you mentioned the Eagles, the Cowboys played them close. They've kind of looked up and down throughout, even though they've been winning. And then Detroit, like, we've talked about it before. They probably have one of the better rosters, but that now they have this Laporta injury that I I don't think he's the end all be all, but he's a big part of their team. And I think they have to figure out and navigate that, but they have a couple of games to do that before they play the Cowboys. I think the first game is always the toughest when you lose like a key piece to offense or defense. So that does leave Kansas City as the one kind of, healthy, desperate team, all that kind of stuff. So that one probably is most concerning for me too.
And I mean, the Cowboys offense looked good against Philadelphia in the opener, and they're obviously very familiar with them, but like Jalen Phillips and Jalen Carter were not on the field. So believe me, I'll be the first to tip my cap if they're moving the ball like that against that Eagles team this Sunday.
Yeah.
That defense is that's a better defense than it was then, And all of a sudden, just like we saw from the Cowboys on Monday night, when you have a good defensive line, it makes your corners and your defensive backs look a lot better too, So I don't really am not interested in like George did this against Quinyon Mitchell and this happened with CeeDee Lamb in week 1. Like that might repeat itself, but you didn't have Jalen Carter or Jalen Phillips out there. And that's a game changer when you don't have that much time. And you saw it certainly Sunday night against Detroit. When there isn't that much time to throw like that, you don't have the options to like kind of look around. You're kind of locked in on one player. And I think we saw a little bit of that in the Denver game from the Cowboys offense. Like it wasn't like Dak couldn't just sit back there and survey things. And, that Denver pass rush caused problems, So
yeah,
I'm interested to see.
To your point, John, I think Deron Bland's big difference in game from Cardinals to Raiders and being able to break on the ball against Bowers and things like that has a lot to do with the pass rush getting home as opposed to against Arizona. That wasn't happening. And all of a sudden you're playing the full 360 around you as opposed to just being able to, like you said, break on the ball. A lot of those plays that he made against Bowers and the offense was because of that.
I was thinking about too, Max Crosby, obviously he got there, made a play. You're going to have to, all the guys that the Eagles have, Chiefs have Chris Jones, Aiden Hutchinson with the Lions. Man, the Max Crosby thing is very fascinating because he's like, no, do not trade me. Don't trade. Why in the world would anyone want to stay there outside of it being Vegas? And you like the vibe, maybe. Like, God, that is a no man's land of a team. And for
it really
him
is.
to just want to stay there seems nuts to me. I mean, it's where Devontae Adams wanted to go a few years ago too. Granted, they thought they'd be a little better with Derek Carr, but like,
I would rather be there than who they play next week. I was saying this last night. As I'm finishing up writing in the press box, I just kind of like look up and on all the big screens are like a picture of the Raiders helmet and then the Browns helmet because they're like next Sunday, like Raiders versus Browns. I'm just like, God, poor Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. So it's like, you can say Max Crosby's situation's bad. And I look up and I'm like, but his is worse. So
yeah, for
much
sure.
rather have Max Crosby's situation than Myles Garrett. Much rather.
Myles Garrett's
I've
interesting.
spent a decent amount of time in both places. I'd much rather be in my Max Crosby situation.
No, for sure. Myles Garrett's interesting because he's like, I don't want to be here. And then they pay him. And then he still balls out. He has like 15 sacks right now. And then he's sitting at the end of the bench by himself at the end of each game too because they can't move the ball on offense.
Yeah.
And I saw like it ended up being one of the most nonsensical tweets that you'd see Monday night, but it was Des Bryant having a little George Pickens tweet. I'm sure you guys all saw that. And it starts out with
like, yeah,
that thing spiraled into going in on Eberflus.
I have no idea how he went from Pickens to Eberflus. I was so confused reading that. Made no sense.
I got his first couple sentences and then I was like, wait, this went a different direction than I thought it was going to go. But basically he was saying, George Pickens, man, there's value to being a Cowboy. Like you could stay here and it means more here than anywhere else. And I couldn't help though when I saw that. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like thinking about Max Crosby and Myles Garrett and thinking pretty in depth about these things, having a real philosophical moment. And then I read the rest of the tweet and I just went, "What? Am I on acid right now?" It's the craziest tweet. You never know what's going to happen. That was nuts to me, man.
Someone just sending that to Matt Eberflus, like, hey, Des took a shot at you. And he's just reading it. He's like, yeah, I think you sent me the wrong one. This is a George.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
He did what?
All right.
Yeah. I would not read the internet if I was those guys. I would just say that.
Yeah. It's tough, though. There's so much funny stuff out there, as we've been texting back and forth over the last few days, KT. I mean, it's tough to completely not look at the internet. It provides so much good entertainment as well.
Oh, no doubt. Revel and overshare. I mean, dude, I've been on a Reddit just lost in joke after joke.
This past week has been a pretty entertaining one on the internet.
I was going to go down a direction. I'll go back to it in a minute. I just would like to place my vote here. I vote to release the Trayvon Diggs files. I want to know what happened.
Man, I heard a rumor that, and if this one's true, we'll talk about it at a later date, but it's super funny. And just because of the fact that they don't say that, nobody has come out and said what it is, is the only thing that keeps me from completely shutting the door on it. So it's pretty funny. If it is this, we will get a full, not full, but maybe a half show out of it. It'd be pretty funny. But he was out in the field last week, working off to the side. So maybe he comes back. I don't know, but it seems like they seem like Kalen Carson can kind of get the job done. He did play 60 defensive snaps against the Raiders.
All passes.
Yeah. Well, and then Savone Ravel, if he can continue to build on what he's doing. And I thought Bland looked pretty good in that game as well. So, yeah, it is interesting where they're at corner right now. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way about that as I do about this Pickens CeeDee Lamb thing. Like, if you're not going to tell us exactly what it is, then people are just going to speculate, and they have every right to. Like, you can just come out and tell us, like, hey, these guys were out at a casino or whatever, they missed curfew or they were late to this meeting. If you're not going to say that, well, people are going to speculate, if you don't want to be forthcoming, especially when it's the Cowboys, because you have so many different levels of ways that it can get out.
Yeah.
Between the team owner, who not only talks quite frequently, he likes to share those type of things, and then you have obviously a head coach who, there's nothing about Schottenheimer that's like, like a Belichick where you're like, well, don't even bother asking Schottenheimer. He's not going to tell you what it was. No, he might, And then you have two key players involved that, well, why wouldn't one say what it was, And then one says it's about personnel, and then the other one does a no comment, I mean, it's
all over the place. It is really weird though. I guess like even if you're not being completely truthful, it just seems like saying something would be more beneficial than like what Diggs' situation has become, where it's pure speculation. I mean, not to reference a sitcom, but Michael Scott said this in The Office. You got to get ahead of the media to control the narrative, or else they control it. So, I mean, I think it's weird that you just kind of sit back and let all that happen. But Diggs is also a much different case to me than Pickens and CeeDee, because Pickens and CeeDee is one that I could see the organization wanting to protect and, things of that sort. I don't think they care all that much about protecting Diggs. I think as we've discussed before, I don't think they know what happened to Diggs.
Right.
Whereas like they know what happened to CeeDee and George Pickens to whatever extent they would know, but they're protecting those two guys. I don't think they really know what happened to Trayvon.
Yeah, and with those two, like, it's just very easy that I've just seen how this cycle goes. If you just sit there and say like, yeah, I was just late, we were late to some whatever, I got to be better. They can't be doing that. I'm up, whatever. Like, it goes away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Not completely, but it certainly is one of those where it's like, well, yeah, well, why are you going to ask? They just said it, but it's like nobody involved did anything to prevent me from today asking Brian Schottenheimer again. Like, so do you think that like that's behind you, or is this something you're going to have to be concerned about on the road going forward? Because there's not really any answers to it. So you, by not saying anything, is keeping the door open to being like, well, but what about that thing? I mean, and again, it's like two of your most important players. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not when, I don't know, I was going to say some names, but I'm not throwing players under the bus. But there's just certain guys on the team that if they're not there, we'd be like, yeah, cool. That's story 247th. I don't care. Like, but when it's two guys, you're in Las Vegas, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything that goes with that, it opens the door for a lot of speculation if you don't shut the door.
Yeah. And also real quick on that, the best example was literally the moment it happened, because they tell the broadcast that, yeah, it's not injury related, whatever. And Troy Aikman immediately goes, well, yeah, the body language of these two guys. And that wasn't apparently the reason at all. It was something like they missed a meeting. And Troy's totally in his right as someone who watches the Cowboys to say, well, their body language at times hasn't been perfect. Maybe it's sending a message. But if you at that time told Lisa Salters, I think it was, that, hey, they missed a couple of meetings, Troy doesn't begin with that. Troy doesn't say, well, their body language was bad, whatever. It's just,
and he's definitely not wrong about that.
No, he's not. But
especially early in the game, like I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. He's not wrong about it, but he never opens that Pandora box if he knows right off the top that it's because they missed a meeting.
Right.
So, yeah.
For sure.
Am I wrong? And Ken, if you want to jump in, you worked there for many years. Am I wrong to say that this said, I don't know, like, I don't really know. I'm not there like I used to be, right? But like in years past, like prior PR people, do you think they're like letting that stuff out and being a little more loose with this? Or is this kind of new PR regime over the last couple of years? I don't know. I'm throwing darts at this thing because that's what they've allowed us to do here. Can I say that also it's not the worst thing if you're thinking long term and you're thinking about George Pickens, it's not the worst thing if it was just missed a couple of meetings to say that. It's just another file that he has.
I mean, Brian Schottenheimer, like while talking positively about George Pickens earlier in the year, made a joke about, is he always at the meetings on time? Nah, whatever. Like, I was like, wait, hold on. Rewind that back. Wasn't that a problem in Pittsburgh or something? So this is going on? Okay, just want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm fine with that. Like, I don't want to come off sounding like I'm like, you just can't even keep a player like this around the team, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. But I'm also the person that like, I am not the guy doing those narratives of just a different guy, man. Pittsburgh, what were they doing? What a bunch of idiots. Like, I'm the same way about like the Green Bay storyline with Micah Parsons. Look at this Micah Parsons, so different. Like, who is this guy? Like, it's a small sample size. Give it time. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, I just think that I have a problem with the people that and I guess this makes me just cynical, but they just so quickly want to put this like beautiful story and it's just so perfect here. And what was that other team doing? What a bunch of idiots. Like, nah, it's not really like that. There's several layers to this. It's not just one thing. There's a lot more to all of these things. And that's why it's not necessarily always just a layup to like, oh, well, you absolutely have to sign this guy. Oh, you absolutely have to keep this guy. No, there's reasons why where you have to weigh different things before you make a move one way or the other.
Yeah. And even historically speaking, I mean, when have star receivers or star players in general just changed so differently when they went from one situation? Right. Like, how different was T.O. from San Francisco to Philadelphia to Dallas? How different was Randy Moss from Oakland to the end of his time in New England? I mean, he got traded in week 3 because he was complaining at a press conference in week 1 after a win. Like, I'm with you, John. Like, you got to give that stuff time because that's in there. And it just, it was great in New England for Randy Moss for 2-3 years, but eventually it came out. So, it happens.
Yeah. And it's a very wide receiver thing too.
Yeah.
You spit a huge lug on somebody and then lie like there isn't 4,000 cameras and millions of people watching and reading books on the sideline and your team's just rolling. I mean, there's just, so you're just dealing with it no matter what. If you want these top playmakers, it comes with the dinner, So
sure.
Yeah, one guy jumps on the goalpost where clearly is a penalty that really hurts that team. It's also the only game that's on Sunday night. So you know what you do Monday night? The exact same thing.
And by the way, it kind of goes the other way too. Larry Fitzgerald, the whole time, like he didn't just like switch up after a while and start becoming a problem. It's just that's just who he was.
You always knew. You had to be nervous when the Cardinals went to Las Vegas. You never knew what Larry was going to do out late at night.
Okay, let's go lightning round. A bunch of quick topics. Feel good about Overshone and Ravel getting out there playing, not getting hurt. They still up to speed. It's a tough. We've called it the gauntlet all year long, but it really is. 3 games in a short period of time. Feel good about them ramping up, starting, playing more. How are we on that?
Yeah, I would say for both of them, I see them playing more as they go forward, but certainly with Overshown. He was on a pitch count in that game. If the game was closer, there's no question he would have played more. But they're also working through that whole linebacker situation, because like Logan Wilson comes in over the bye, and for him to be out there as a middle linebacker, they want him to be the guy with the green dot, just like Kenneth Murray, which means that they have the radio in their headset. They're the ones that is in their helmet, and they're the ones that are calling the defense to the rest of the defense. And that is an important part of your defense, because especially when it's a defense that has had communication issues. And so you need a guy that knows every part of that defense. And so I think Logan Wilson is getting caught up on that. And so he played a decent amount, but I think that there's more playing time for him going forward. But yeah, I think Overshown for sure will be playing more as long as he can stay healthy every week that we go forward. With Revel, I think that they'll keep ramping him up, but I think that he was a guy in that game where it was like they're going to bring him in for certain packages. And so there'll be more of that. And then if he plays well, then there'll be more opportunities for him as well. But I certainly didn't see this Kalen Carson coming to where, oh yeah, he'll probably play the entire game. Excuse me, what? Where was sharing that? Like, just offering up like how good he's looked in practice. So I'm like, oh, he's going to play a lot. So maybe that's changed some things a little bit. Maybe they feel a little bit better about that. We'll see. But yeah, I would expect with both those guys, as long as they stay healthy and their knees are sound, then yeah, I think they'll just continue to play more.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add to that is with Overshown, I'm just intrigued to see what different, as he plays more, what different ways they use him. Is it, he's such an athlete, he can play on the edge, he can blitz, he can do a lot of different things. So I'm curious to see how that progresses.
Are we just done with Jaden Blue for this year? Is this development year? Get back to it next year? I mean, man.
It certainly seems like that. I mean, if you can't get out there right now, I don't know how much more of an opportunity you're going to get unless Javonte Williams was to go down and they just don't have any other options. So then you have to play. But yeah, as of right now, I mean, you got jumped by a guy that wasn't even on the team the start of training camp, So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Clearly there's something about what his preparation or things that he's doing that just they're not pleased with, or because if you can't get out there right now, I don't know when it's going to happen, to be honest with you. So maybe it is a rookie thing. Maybe he'll get past that, but not great.
Things hardcore Texas fans, I call them message board fans. These are all things they warned us about.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but it's just something,
Yeah, for sure. And then the other part of it for me is that I just always have been a big believer in that running back is, I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's the easiest of all the positions to transition from college to the pros. Like mid-season, 5th round pick, that guy should be out there playing running back in the NFL.
Yeah. I agree. Thanksgiving halftime show is official. It is Post Malone. We knew that. They had teased it. I'm wondering if the Cowboys will do this because the Detroit Lions announced last week that Eminem is going to curate the Thanksgiving halftime show for the Detroit Lions moving forward, because everything has to have a halftime show now. We had Nelly the other night in Las Vegas, of course.
It was good. Played all the hits.
So it's like Eminem curating the morning game on Thanksgiving, and they go with Detroit legend Jack White. Great. Awesome. Halftime show. Love it. And then it's like, so Eminem, all these music influencers of other years, Eminem, Charlotte Jones, those are the two you really think about. They go with Post Malone. Great. And then the Bengals and Ravens go Lil Jon at night to set it off on Thanksgiving night in Baltimore. This is going to be the greatest Thanksgiving ever.
It's pretty impressive. I thought you were going down a path where you felt like the Cowboys need to have some type of musician be the one that picks the halftime shows going forward. Who would that be? Who would be the fit the way Eminem fits Detroit?
I mean, I think this town would think of like Leon Bridges in that way, and that's not even close to the level of Eminem. But
maybe it's
I'm going to go with Cowboys fan and R&B legend Genuine. Let him pick the halftime show.
Okay. Wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
if you look at their list of previous halftime performances, I would think that Jelly Roll would have to be considered.
He's going to be there. You know he's going to be there. I loved
John. You put out the tweet of Post Malone is this year. Here's the last 10 years of halftime shows or whatever. I love that you included Jelly Roll in last year's.
There's a lot of stuff I do on
show.
There's a lot of stuff I do on
an official one.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I do on Twitter that
Jelly Roll. So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff I do on Twitter that people that know me know the sarcasm that's included with it.
Yeah.
But it is fun though.
You didn't include Neo with Pitbull, so I knew it was a bit at that point.
Yeah, no, it's that was a very ready to go save tweet for whatever day that, because obviously, well, I guess it's not obvious, but they would have announced that the week before, but you're not going to really be making that announcement a couple days after you lose a player. So that announcement was because they teased it.
They announced
the weekend
it
before. Yeah. And so, but they couldn't make an official announcement at that time, so they waited another week to do that. So
that's a huge get for them, by the way. I think we'd all talked about him at the beginning of the season, about him being a Super Bowl halftime show of the future. I think he just loves the team so much that whatever they want him to do, he's down for, So yeah, great get for them for a big game. Chiefs, Cowboys. That's going to be one of the, it's Super Bowl level game right there.
Ratings bonanza.
Yeah.
Let's go to picks, guys. Here we go. Cowboys, Eagles, 3:25 this Sunday, AT&T Stadium. Will the sun be out? Yes. We're already looking at the weather, going to be for about an hour or so. We're going to have a bit of a sunny day. A little chance of rain, though, but sun should be out. Let's go to John, the leader in the clubhouse. Dallas, 3.5-point underdogs on Sunday.
yeah, that line seems way too low. And whenever that's the case, it usually makes me look like a fool, but I'm sorry. I just can't. Only 3.5. I understand that the Cowboys have made some additions and look better, but watching that Eagles team the last couple of weeks, 3.5. Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Kent, you've made the jump to second place.
I love it. Shoot, this is tough. Divisional game. Two teams playing well. I'll go with John. Give me Philadelphia.
Sod, you're in third place.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys. I don't think they win, but just the way that the Eagles have been playing, I could see a walk-off field goal or 3 points or less or something. So I'll get the Cowboys to cover.
Dallas plus 3.5 for me as well. We are riding this thing like the wind. Let's get another one. And a little game theory. Cowboys plus 3.5 for me. Kent, we'll start with you on this one. Kansas City hosting Indianapolis. The 8-2 Colts at the 5-5 Chiefs. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites here.
Yeah, this is in Indianapolis. I might think otherwise, but give me Kansas City.
Over to Sod.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City has a good run defense, which is obviously critical against Jonathan Taylor. I think if they can keep him in check, that's great. If not, I think Indianapolis wins. So, man, it's just I can't pick against Mahomes right now. Just not because he's playing so well or the Chiefs are playing so well. It's just desperation time. So give me the Chiefs.
Mahomes, Daniel Jones. I'm going to reverse it though, mainly because I think all of you were going to pick the Chiefs. I'm going Colts plus 3.5. But John, you could prove me wrong.
No, you're right. Absolutely. I would. Wow, it opened back in the day. Well, this must have been before the season at 9.5. Wow. Yeah. Also, I'm seeing that at some sports books, they got the Cowboys down to that's went from 3.5 to 3 now. So there's some money coming in on the Cowboys in this. All right, interesting. Anyway, give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs 3.5. All right, Saad, we'll start with you. Last one. We're gonna go Sunday night. We're gonna go Rams and we're gonna go Bucks. It is the 8-2 Rams hosting the 6-4 Buccaneers, who just gave Buffalo all they wanted. And the Rams are 6.5-point favorites here. I thought this line was kind of big, so that's why I included it. Saad, go ahead.
I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL right now. Give me the Rams.
Sod with confidence. Let's go to John.
Yeah, that is a lot of points for this game. But yeah, give me the Rams too. They're playing on I understand that, yeah, it was a close game against Seattle, but I think Seattle's really good too, though. So, but yeah, give me the Rams. If the Eagles had to play the Rams on Sunday to go to the Super Bowl, I think I'd still pick the Eagles, but I'm with Sod. I mean, the Rams are certainly they're in the argument of best team in the NFL.
Too many points for me. I will take the Bucks plus 6.5. Baker with a backdoor cover. Kent.
Same. Give me Tampa to cover.
All right. There we go.
You don't want to do Raiders Browns? Shador is going to be starting.
I decided not to put that one on there, but
have you guys ever tweeted about a player, or who would you post something about that was to the level of Josina Anderson's tweets about Shador Sanders over the weekend? I think for Saad, it's obvious. It would be, there's definitely moments in his life for Tom Brady. Would I be right on that?
Oh, yeah.
It has to be sports,
not now.
too. Michael Scott doesn't count, because obviously when Michael Scott showed up at Dwight's wedding, that certainly would have been there. But I'm trying to there's definitely time early in his Bucks career I would have been that way with Jameis, but I'm like, no, I can't. I still like Jameis, but not.
Yeah.
I know that he is gonna throw a big interception or four, but
I'm not on her level. But I've been lately. There's a little unrest in Green Bay about Jordan Love, and I think all these people are insane.
Okay, that's
just like when people think Dak's not good here or Romo wasn't good. Like, what? Like they're just creating narratives that he just turns the ball over all the time. And it's just like, okay, let's just be factual about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you want to say you don't like him that much and don't think you can go to the big game with him, cool. We're all good there. We start creating stuff that's not true. It's like, okay, hold on. I got to speak up. Malik Willis goes in. Malik Willis goes in for one drive. Hold on. Malik Willis goes in for one drive last week that Jordan Love started. And Malik Willis, and they end up scoring a touchdown. And Malik Willis is Jordan Love leaves the game. Malik Willis comes in. Look, you don't want Malik Willis out there that much. We saw it last year. He's good. He's fine. He's not starting anywhere else. I
thought you were going to say Favre, because I just remember when you were defending him with all that stuff in Mississippi, so.
Yeah, no, I think the loophole he did is genius. And he also wears Crocs. I'm a big Crocs guy. And we know that he wears Crocs.
All right, end the show. That's my new draw.
Okay. For Kent Garrison, for Saad Youssef, for Jon Machota, follow their work on The Athletic. Please do that. Okay, go check them out on social media as well. Holler at us. For Kent Garrison, the Mad About Movies podcast, I will promote that I am on the Ben and Skin Show on the Eagle 3 to 6 p.m. and also the After Party SNL podcast, because I need to get better about promoting my own things. I've been told this a million times, and I'll now shamefully do that. We will talk to you sometime after the game on Sunday, Cowboys and Eagles at AT&T Stadium. Everyone have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon on the One Star Cowboys podcast. He also wears Crocs. I'm a big Crocs guy.
For over a century, Johnny Walker has shared its bold spirit with the game of golf. Now, crafted with Devereaux Golf, Johnny Walker introduces the Johnny Walker Blue Label-inspired Sunday Golf Bag, elevating the game with sleek design, blue label hues, and refined gold accents. Celebrate your hole-in-one with a premium Sunday bag crafted by Devereaux Golf. Submit proof of your achievement to johnnywalker.com/blue-in-1. Please drink responsibly.